Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of POD SCUM. That's right, you found it. The podcast where we dive into the deepest, the darkest, the murkiest waters with our guests. And boy, do we have some legendary guests. We have had and will continue to have. And who better to interview all these legends, all these cool guests, but the hottest host on the internet, the hardest working man in show business, yours truly, Rex Ruger. That's Rex with 3 X's, ladies. Count them. Triple X, Rex Ruger, a.k.a. the King of Sleaze, a.k.a. the Hair Metal High Priest, a.k.a. the man with the golden voice and the velvet tongue. But most importantly, a.k.a. Diamond David Lee Roth Jr. I'm coming to you from the newly remodeled Pink Pussycat Lounge. As you can see, I've added some nice decor. I've got the old man looking down on me here, watching my back. And how do I know that I'm David Lee Roth Jr.? Well, DNA testing in the works, folks. Spoke to my attorneys a short time ago, and we are almost at the finish line. And of course, my audience, I will keep you apprised. You will be the first to know. When I know, you'll know. And I will definitively tell you that I am the son of glam, the front man for the band. Just smoked a few grams, got 1 million fans, Mr. Wop Babaloo Bop Wop Bam Bam, Shazam, hot damn, woo! There's no denying it, folks. There's no denying it. And of course, you can achieve this look too. If you want the Lockstep Rock, the product that does it, baby. Yeah. Of course, like I said, I am the hardest working man in show business, fronting numerous bands, glam and sleaze bands up and down the eastern seaboard. Let me give myself a look here before we get another legendary guest in here. Oh, man. Sometimes the pain, it just hurts to look this good. He knows. He can relate. And of course, this is the No Frills podcast. I'm 49 years old. I don't put a lot into this because I know what the people want. Give the people what they want. The customer is always right. Yada, yada, yada. You guys want the guests. So I get my little preamble out of the way. I plug my shit, and then we get down to it. You don't get animation. You don't get a theme song. You don't get shit hopping across the screen. I'm not fucking Bill Gates. So what you see is what you get. Why don't you get frills? Because you get plenty of thrills. And what is the thrill? Looking at me. So we got a good one for you here today. It's about to get heavy in here, folks. And of course, let me remind you that my latest band that I'm really putting all my focus into is Love Sword. And I continue to look and audition players. So if you're interested, hit me up in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to give you a tryout. Anyway, here's our guest here. So let's get him in here and get down to the brass tacks here on POD SCUM. Where is he? 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 There. Rutger, how are you, buddy? I can't hear you. I can see, but not hear.
And now?
Now I got you, buddy. I'm glad we finally were able to make
it. Go.
Here we are, man. A couple of legends just sitting here, huh?
Talk for yourself, man.
Well, if you can't tell the pedigree here, man, by the hair and the fact that the old man is looking down on me here, you're getting the privilege to talk to David Lee Roth Jr.
And you got the privilege to talk to Godzilla, man. Look at him.
I know. We both got a couple of good ones watching our back, huh?
Definitely.
All right, I'm gonna get the name right. Ready? Because I love doing this with these, exotic foreign soundings. Rutger Van Noordenburg.
Rutger Rembrandt van Noordenburg.
Yeah. I did pretty good, didn't I? I did pretty good.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
You've been, I looked at your resume. You've been in multiple bands. I think right now the one people would know you most by is the legendary Pestilence.
Yes, sir.
Now, how old of a guy are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 41, man.
Okay, so you were alive when Pestilence was putting out those early albums. Then I was wondering because you look so young on the internet. I'm like, was this guy even born when the legendary and I consider it a legendary album? Consuming Impulse really was a legendary death metal album. I mean, can we agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So the
Yeah,
first
I mean,
album that you played on, and I don't know how to pronounce it. What's the first album that you played on? Exitivim?
Exitium.
Boy, is that Patrick trying to get cute with these or with these album names?
Well, the thing is, right?
Yeah.
Everyone says, "Oh, why is he doing the V thing?"
Yeah.
But it's been that way since Malaeus. So
Yeah.
it's been that way since the start, man. So we actually do all the set lists the same. So
Yeah. Is it intimidating? Is it intimidating to you when you step into a band that has such a lineage and such a pedigree, and that are considered, pioneers, legends in that field? Do you put any pressure on yourself as a guitar player when you join a band like that to say, "Wow, these guys with their first two albums, especially Consuming Impulse, they really set a high bar"?
yeah, of course. Well, the thing is, I befriended Patrick way before I joined.
Right.
So I don't know. We just have mutual interests and stuff.
Yeah.
And we kind of clicked. And then he asked one of my bands to join them on tour as a support act. So I think we did 21 shows together or something.
Yeah.
So we shared a tour bus for 3.5 weeks. And so that was great. So I think like all the stuff that might come with it as pressure was just gone already.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right, the album before they made before I joined, there was such an incredible beast on the guitar, Santiago.
Yes. Yep. Agreed.
Never fucking mind, right? So
Yeah, right.
I'm just going. This dude's an alien,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna do my own thing,
Yeah.
Basically, because he was so good, it just took the pressure off of me.
Yeah.
And Patrick was extremely cool to me and the guys. So he just said, I like your style. Do whatever the f you want,
Yeah.
Don't try to copy anyone. Do your own thing. And
Right.
yeah, so funnily enough, I didn't feel any pressure whatsoever.
Right. That's good. That's good.
Dude, the atmosphere was great, man. The band vibe was great. So yeah, we all just had a blast recording this thing. So
Now, at first glance, when you see, and I don't know him personally, but when you see images, pictures of Patrick online, he looks like an intimidating guy. He certainly comes across as a very strong, domineering alpha male type. He's got the physique. He's got the intimidating. He just looks intimidating. What's it like being in a band with him, though? Give us a little bit of the behind the scenes of what's he, a big pussy cat behind the scenes?
no, not really. He's a tough dude. But
Yeah, he looks
the thing is, well, the thing is, right? He's a tough dude, but he's always I don't know. He's open to suggestions. He's if you don't bullshit him, he doesn't bullshit you.
okay.
And to me, I don't know, man. I heard stories, of course. I've seen the pedigree. I've heard about the history. But for some reason, Patrick and I just always just hit it off, and we never had any issues whatsoever. Like nothing.
Right.
And it's just I don't know. For me, like many people ask me this, of course, and I can't blame them. Maybe he was more extreme in the past or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's a very, very cool dude, and I never had any problems with him. But I always back my word up, so I never bullshit. I just do my thing,
Right.
and I do it to the best of my abilities. I never back out of an agreement. So I don't know, if you're true to yourself, and if you're just if you don't pretend to be anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I always had a great time with Patrick, so I've never had a single moment going like, nothing.
You're right. Right. Well, obviously the band is certainly perceived as he's a founding member. He's been there. He's been there since the get-go. In different fashions. He was a guitar player, and now he's slid over and kind of pulling double duty, guitar player and vocalist or whatever. But so what's the creative process like? Does it lend itself to a collaboration? Is Patrick one of these guys that's very much in control and decides on the material, or do you guys get together and throw ideas around? How open is he to letting the rest of the band in on the creative process?
He's very open. I mean, naturally, it's his thing. No
Right.
one can write a song like Patrick.
Yeah.
There's just, I don't know, within 3 seconds, it's Pestilence, right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so you put on an album, and it doesn't matter which album. Within 3 seconds, it's Pestilence, and that's
Right.
something he has. And he's very open to suggestions, and you could put up whatever out there. But yeah, of course, he's the main writing personality, and
Yeah.
he but for instance, like for guitars, it might be different because he writes a lot of stuff, right?
Right.
So he's open to whatever, but especially like for instance drums, right? He just goes, we feel our drummer, he's just, his talent's way out there.
Yeah.
So Patrick just goes, hey man, kick some ass,
Yeah. Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah. Kind of you kind of just have carte blanche to just kind of, do your thing.
Just go for it, and their bass player is an absolute beast. So he just goes, do
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want. And the same with my solos, for instance. He just goes, I like your style, do whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's works very well actually. It would be very complicated if we all joined in every riff and whatever, because then it would just take forever. And he's way too creative, so he's very fast.
Right. He's ready to move. Yeah, he's ready to keep the show going. He's ready to keep it moving.
Yeah. For us, when the band vibe is incredible. It's been incredible for the last years. So for us, it's actually putting on the brakes, going, dude.
Right.
We're just if we want, we can have like 4 albums done in a year. But then it would be the same stuff.
Right.
Sort of replicating, which is not what we want. So
now, Pestilence was labeled very early on, and obviously the metal community and have really put a lot of labels. There's been a lot of genres and the creation of a lot of subgenres, so much to the point that it gets very dizzying to try to keep track of what everybody's, it seems like the metal community wants to put everybody into a certain box. But certainly Pestilence very early on was labeled technical death metal. What does that term mean? Does that pretty much mean that that you're almost given a label of being virtuosos and playing stuff that's very, very complicated? And do you find that that's what the meaning of technical death metal is?
I don't know. It's for me, it's always been very hard to think in these boxes.
Yes. Yeah.
I've made, I make in Bleeding Gods, it was more black metal. In Shinigami, where it's like, I don't know, more thrashy, I guess. But for Pestilence, the funny thing is that Patrick doesn't really listen to a lot of death metal.
Right.
So whatever he writes just comes out naturally to him.
Right.
So I don't know, but people want to label it, and especially for back in the day when, for instance, today actually the 31st anniversary of Testimony of the Ancients.
Yep.
When that came out, of course it was, it set a bar, and nowadays there are so many extremely technical death metal bands, which are playing stuff that's way more virtuoso than what we do.
Right.
So I have no clue where death metal ends and technical death metal begins.
Well, I just feel like that. I just feel like that label really lends itself to, I don't want to say that it's a pretentious term, but it's certainly, when you put technical on there, I think people, look at that label and they say, wow, these guys must be the best of the best at their instruments if this is technical. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, does that mean that Patrick feels like he's gone and rounded up, the most, virtuoso players that he can?
Listen, I'm a very humble dude, so I would
you're
never
not going to toot your horn here,
right? Anyway, shape or form. No, listen, there are millions of guitar players out there, and there are so many, 14-year-old aliens out there that are just insane. I mean, I have this huge love for Japan, traveling there, many friends there. I toured 3 times in Japan, and when you're there and there's an opening act of 14-year-old boys.
I know. Amazing,
girls,
right?
Doesn't matter in Japan.
Yeah.
And you know, no, we're not the most virtuoso players out there. At least I'm not. But you know, I don't know. Maybe it's more to do with we all have this attitude. Put us on stage. Doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter when. We're gonna have
Yep.
fun. We're gonna kill whatever we can. You know, we're just gonna put beast mode on
Right.
and
Right.
go for it. You know.
Right.
So no, I don't have any presumptions of being in the top whatever. We just want to have awesome music,
Yeah.
kick some ass on stage, have fun. You know, I love it to smile at the fans. You know, if we're
Yeah.
sound checking and there's already some diehard fans there, you know,
Yeah.
always the case. I always try to talk to the people there, and everyone feels the same way. You know, it's just doesn't matter, man. The labels don't matter. Arrogance doesn't matter
Right.
whatsoever.
Right.
Ego doesn't matter. We're just there to, you know, kick some ass.
Would you say that the early stuff from Pestilence, obviously those early seminal albums featured the vocals of Martin Van Drunen.
Yeah.
Obviously, when he left, it divided a lot of the fans because he was seen and still is seen with currently with Asphyx as one of a legendary death metal singer.
Yeah,
Has there ever been any talk? And I don't know, you know, I've done my research a little bit, but I don't really know, you know, what the impetus was for him leaving the band. But has there ever been any talk in the past? Because, you know, you see all these bands going out and recreating what was in the past. Has there ever been any inkling or hint from Patrick of Martin ever entering the fold again? Or re-entering the fold, I should say.
I don't think so. There's no, I don't think there's, no, I don't think we actually talked about it. To put it really clearly, I have no bad blood whatsoever towards Asphyx. I know some of the guys, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't think there really is bad blood. So I don't know, but we just never talked about it. I know a lot of fans think there's this massive thing still going on or whatever.
Yeah.
But
what is the thing? Has anybody ever even known what the hell the thing was? What was the thing? I mean, I've never read about any one incident that really was like, you know, a point of contention that really divided these guys. I mean,
I don't know, man, and I'm not the one to talk about it. I think,
right?
No, I don't really know, man. It's been such a long time ago, and there's so many band breakups and lineup changes in any band out there, you know. So
there sure are.
I don't know,
well, and obviously Pestilence, you know, they did have some long periods of inactivity, you know, a couple different times. How do you feel about the lineup that because you talked about, you know, revolving door of members in certain bands? How do you feel about the lineup that you guys have right now? Does it seem like everybody's, you know, rowing in the same direction, so to speak? Does this feel like a solid lineup that isn't going to change its parts for a while?
Yeah, 100%, man. This lineup's been like this for, I think, 2.5 years now or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know, every time we get together, it's stronger. And yeah, it's like a brotherhood now, man. It's like, it feels like a real band of, you know, friends, and atmosphere is absolutely amazing. We have fun on stage. You know, you can tell by looking at the shows. We have fun on stage. It's nothing is scripted, so a lot of the time Patrick and I just, you know, smile at each other. I you know, take the piss out of the drummer when he's busy his most brutal shit, which is awesome, you know. So the vibe is amazing, and all of us are very happy, and Patrick tells me quite regularly that he's very happy with the lineup, and everyone just I don't know. The longer it's going on, the more everyone's opening up or something. You know, it happens in bands, of course, and if you're lucky, it really happens in a band. I have the same thing with Shinigami, my other band. It's just you know, a group of friends, which is great.
Yeah. You know, now me and you have talked outside of the of what we're doing here, exchange messages and stuff. So, I know that you've told me that you have a family and kids and stuff. How does your family perceive death metal? Does the music that you play scare the shit out of the old lady and the kids, or are they used to it? No?
No. I was married for a couple of years, and I'm now with another girl. But
Yeah.
my kids are from my past marriage. Everything's still, everyone's still befriended, and I'm a lucky dude, let's say. But no, man. When I played with Bleeding Gods, I have corpse paint.
Yeah.
Metal and leather and blood. And what my daughter used to say, so I have this gorgeous little princess who likes to dress up as an elf, with pink and glitter and whatnot. And she just says, "Oh, daddy's gonna, play like a fool again or whatever."
Yeah.
So no, man. I'm a very gentle dude, as you can tell. So
you are. How about your significant other? Is she a metalhead too? Because I know that, and here's the problem that I find, and I'm coming up on my 24th anniversary of being married next week. But the thing is, thank you. The thing is my wife does not like extreme metal. I can get her to go to concerts with me to a certain degree. If it's Motley Crue, she's there. If it was Pestilence, I'd be probably flying solo. You know what I mean? So I find that she's just not into the extreme stuff. I'll put it on and she'll make a face, and there's definitely a lot of total disdain for it. She doesn't get it. She doesn't. How does it affect? How does it affect your relationship? Is your girl a metalhead, or could she take it or leave it?
She's not a metalhead.
No.
I have a gorgeous fiance, and she's more into all sorts of stuff, but not extreme metal. She loves coming to our concerts, though. She loves seeing us play. I can take it to metal shows, just like you said. We saw we saw Evil Invaders. Do you know them?
Yeah.
I love that band, man. They're just they're full on and they're for real, man.
Yeah.
And she loved it, So I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But she's very open minded, and I like it actually because I get to make noise.
Yeah.
And she just lets me be,
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, that's good. So, but like when you guys are like in a car taking a ride somewhere, though, man, who gets control of the musical choices? Does it fall on the driver? Whoever's driving gets to control what tunes they're listening to?
Well, shall I act tough or shall I be real with you?
Well, I guess it depends on if she's within earshot or not. I mean,
no, I'm always honest. No, the thing is, I get my metal in. That's no problem.
You have to.
But if there's someone that doesn't like extreme metal, and I just in the car, I just want to talk to my girl. I don't care whatever I'm playing. But I have a very I play from classical to noise, so guitar playing wise. So to me, that's all cool. I just don't. I don't like pop
you don't
stuff.
Like pop music. Okay, I got you. I got you there. Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm picking up what you're putting down on that one for sure. So, let me ask you this: since you do have such a history of playing in very extreme metal bands, can bands take extreme metal too far? And I mean to the point where too much blast beats, too loud, too fast. Can something get so heavy that it ceases to become enjoyable from a musical standpoint? Where it starts to lack melody. I mean, can something get too heavy? I'm thinking of bands along the lines of like a Portal or Anal Cunt. I mean, something that's really just. I know that name always makes me laugh like a 12-year-old kid too. I don't know why, but I mean,
one of my friends have they have a band called Rectal Smegma, so it could always be worse.
Smegma.
But no, man, if it's if you can say something metal is two something, You know, maybe you could say it's too soft. I don't know.
Right,
But no, man, metal is out there. Metal is whatever the fuck you feel like, and
right.
no, man, if I would enjoy listening to it, yeah, there's a limit, but no, man, there's a lot of extreme stuff I like, especially when you see it live. You know, it's all
Yeah,
energy, man.
it's a
It's all
spectacle.
energy.
Yeah, I
So for
imagine.
me,
I imagine Rectal Smegma though probably not playing a lot of weddings though. No.
you'd be surprised. No, it's no, it's a grindcore band. The guys have a great sense of humor and very cool guys. But
Um,
no, you know,
who
it's
are
all
some
fun and
guitar
games.
players? Who are some guitar players when you were getting into the instrument and where you were young, or even right now? Who are some guys that every time you hear them play, regardless whether it's metal or not, just some players that you just really love their playing that just blow you away?
Jeff Loomis.
And he's from.
Jeff Loomis. If I have to explain that to you, geez, no, he
No,
now
for
plays
people
in
that no,
Arch
no, for
Enemy.
people in my audience that don't know, for people who don't know.
No, okay. I'm just kidding. No, he now plays in Arch Enemy, but he used to play in one of my all-time favorite bands, Nevermore.
Okay.
Which I just loved when I was I think when I was like 16 or something. I picked something
Yeah.
up from them. But I mean, my absolute king would still be Dime.
Okay. Okay.
For me, Dime. But I also love Steve Vai. And
Okay.
so I don't know. It's like an eclectic mix. You know, I like many players, but also a classical player, Saxioni from the Netherlands, which was
Okay.
great.
Okay.
And the dude that actually made me pick up a guitar, that was Eddie Van Halen. So
Okay. All right. All right. So
yeah,
let me ask you this, since we're on it, and it is very topical right now, and
yeah.
I'm assuming it will be even by the time I get your episode up. You mentioned Pantera and Dimebag. What's your take on the big upcoming Pantera reunion? Are you for it, against it? Do you like the guys that they got to play the Abbott brothers parts?
Well, Zach is awesome.
Yeah.
So you know, if you have to have someone play that shit, you know, better be Zach.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, and listen, there are two band members left, and if they wanna do this, and they have, you know, I know it's their right, you know, to do
Right.
it. So
Right.
I mean, I absolutely loved Pantera. So I mean, I think it would be even hard for me to pass on not to go to the shows, you know.
Very
So
tough.
yeah, it's you know, it's obviously not going to be the same without the brothers, you know.
Right. Right.
They embodied so much of Pantera, and especially Dime is, you know, I remember the news hitting from him being hit on stage.
Yeah.
I was, you know, that really hit me. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. It will be very weird, but also very like sort of emotional even.
Yeah.
And you know, Phil's still a king, you know. So if he
He is.
starts
He is. Yeah.
if he starts screaming that shit, you know, it'll be hard not to bang your head, you know.
Now, where were you? Do you remember? Because you said that it hit.
Absolutely, I know. Yeah,
You said that it hit you hard. Do you remember
yep,
like where you were
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
when you heard the news?
Yeah, absolutely. I was I studied biomolecular sciences, so I did
Okay.
oncology and genetics as my specialty, and I was in the lab at that time doing experiments,
Okay.
and I just had a new girlfriend, and she's now my ex-wife.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember calling her like, you know, she wasn't a metalhead, so I had to explain to her what happened. But
Yeah.
so no, it's yeah, I absolutely remember, and that day shaped every metalhead, I think.
Now you mentioned that you were in school. Talk to me a little bit about like where you were going with that, because it sounds like something that's related to the healthcare field. I work in healthcare. My day job, I'm a nurse myself. So
Oh, awesome.
oncology. I heard I pricked up my ears when you said
Yeah.
oncology. So like, what were you studying to be, or what is the alternate plan other than just music? Like, what other field were you planning on going in or are in?
I'm currently a freelance consultant in medicine research.
Okay.
So
Look at
I
you.
yeah,
Hey,
I do different shit.
here
No,
we
I
are, a couple of colleagues, so to speak.
yeah, man. I spend most of my days either calling to assist research teams or at hospitals. So yeah,
Well, what can you
you,
tell me about the problem that I've been having? Is even though I'm an LPN, I work in geriatrics. I obviously work in a nursing home, so yeah, I'm not studying or coming up with any cures for anything. But one thing that I would like to know is that in the last 3 months, I've had a detached retina. As you can see right now, my eye looks pretty gnarly. There's a gas bubble in there right now. So I'm having a hard time seeing, but this has happened to me May, June, and July. Now in May, I had a big detachment in this one. Then I was back to work for 4 weeks. Then this one detached and they fixed it. Then this one literally just detached again.
the fuck?
Well, yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
You're a special breed.
I guess
That's
I
what I
am.
would
I
say.
guess I am. Yeah. So why don't we get cracking on that then, Rutger? Huh? Why don't we get a cure for, or maybe build me a bionic eye? That would be nice. Can you build me a
Maybe
bionic eye?
maybe you need to start listening to Celine Dion and everything will implode. And maybe
Yeah. I mean, somebody just asked me the other day. They're just like, "Why are your eyes so bad with all the pot that you smoke?" I don't know. I mean, I
it's the
guess that just
blasphemies, man.
I guess that just protects me from glaucoma, but the detached retina thing, it's not doing anything for.
I wouldn't know, man. But
Oh,
yeah.
God. So what is the goal though? So you sit around and you're researching? Is that what you're doing?
No, I actually, when uh patients are opted to do medical research,
Oh,
for new medicine,
like
new
trials and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, trials, new chemotherapy. I worked
Right.
at with the last 6 years. I worked in chemotherapy. So these trials need to be monitored. These trials need to be, doctors need to
Yeah.
be trained on protocols. You need to be following international legislation. You need
Yeah.
to, make sure the quality of data is there. And basically, I'm an in-betweener doing that. So sometimes I'm the one that is in the hospitals checking
Right.
and training, and sometimes I'm a team lead. So it all depends. I've been doing this for a while, so
So it's
I'm
vital nowadays in the music business, especially with how it's changed so much, though. It's
yeah,
very difficult unless you're John Bon Jovi to be able to sustain
yeah,
and just make music your living,
yeah,
right? Very difficult.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But almost all the full on musicians I'm around, they all have extra jobs. Either several jobs within the music or other jobs. Many of
Yeah.
them are nurses, by the way.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Many
I
of
asked
them are.
somebody. I asked somebody this question recently, though. If you were, because you seem like a guy who's really, really, really committed to extreme metal, but in this day and age where it's very tough to make money in music, if you were offered a gig playing something that you didn't like, but because you're such a
No,
great guitar player, could you do it? If your heart
no,
wasn't into it,
no,
no, no, you couldn't.
absolutely not.
Okay, okay, okay. So a gig is not necessarily a gig. Like you couldn't be tapped like tomorrow to be the guitar player, for some band that you weren't really into.
If listen, if they were great friends and they would need someone to fill in, and I would be amongst friends and doing that stuff, then
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
But if I um, if they call me, and my girlfriend actually asked me this yesterday. She
yeah.
said, "What if Celine Dion?" Because she's my kryptonite. Okay, I, I cannot handle it. So and my girlfriend actually likes some Celine Dion.
Yeah.
For me, I can't express it into words. But if they would call me and they say, man, you want to be the guitar player for the live shows of Celine Dion and you get paid a bunch, I'd rather be broke.
You'd rather be broke. What is it
Yeah,
about when you say Celine Dion is your kryptonite and you
I don't
said
know,
you
man.
can't really put it into words? I'm going to put you on the spot here, Rutger. I am
Yeah,
going to make you put it into words. What is it about Celine Dion? Because I don't like her either, man. And there's just something about her when I look at her. She looks like a singing skeleton to me.
well, yeah, that's part of it, I guess. But to each his own. But I don't know if there's something in that frequency she puts out.
Yeah.
just makes everything inside me just go, no. Just
No.
yeah.
It's that troubling to you, huh? You really
I
can't
don't
take
know,
it.
man. It's yeah, I can't take it. I can't take it. No. I can
So,
take a lot of pop singers. I can hear the quality and stuff, but yeah, sometimes you just don't match with stuff, right?
well,
So
I'll come clean to you right here. As much of a metalhead as I am, though, man, and I've come out of the closet about this many times, though, man. But I am a huge lover of Prince. I just love
dude,
Prince.
dude, Prince was an absolute monster.
But I don't know if we can just dump Prince necessarily because of his ability to play and shred on the guitar and numerous other instruments. It's a little irresponsible just to take Prince and just drop him into just a regular pop star, though.
Well, yeah,
He's better than that.
well, he's been on a whole different level his whole career.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw this one live show. I can't remember what it was, but it was like in an arena.
Yeah.
There was nothing there except for Prince sitting on some sort of, everything he has is alien looking. So it was like a
Yeah.
bar stool thing.
Yeah.
And of course it was purple. And then it was like with I don't know, out of it came like it was an armrest, but then it turned into a mic stand or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he was there with just an acoustic guitar. So it was that tiny dude with an acoustic guitar in an arena. And I couldn't look away.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could not look away.
He just has that ability to be as diminutive in size as he is, though. He just becomes larger than life, though. No matter what setting you put him in, it just seems like he's just so engaging that your eyes are just drawn to him. And just the talent that he exudes.
Yeah, yeah. If he does that solo thing, right? So where you just hear him play and do his thing without all the bombastic things around it, with 10 million other players.
Yeah,
I like that the best because then you can just hear whatever he does. It's great.
Yeah. Well, the joy of having a podcast here, and I do a little segment with my guests, at least the ones that are good-natured enough and don't seem too ornery. And you certainly are a good-natured guy. I like to take my guests and do what I call throwing them into the furnace. I give you a bunch of comparison questions. I don't want a lot of thought put into this. These are all random, but I've looked at them and have chosen which answers are right or wrong. But of course they're my right answers. But that's all that matters. Okay. Okay.
Right,
so I'm gonna run through them. Okay, and I want to see how well you do. Okay.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Oh, that's difficult, man. Fuck. Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Well, we were just talking about divas. Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston? You got to pick one. Mariah Carey. Okay.
That Christmas song made everything worth it. Okay, yeah.
If you had to have a superpower, being able to fly or being invisible?
Oh, I have the exact discussion with my girl. She would like to become invisible, and I would like to fly.
You would like to fly. Okay. Captain Kirk or Dr. Spock?
Oh,
both a couple of weirdos, I think, but
I'm a Star Wars dude, though.
Okay.
Here, I'm a Star Wars dude. Look, I have Darth Vader over there.
Okay. So on the fly, I'll do something for you here then that I don't usually do. Yoda or Obi-Wan as your master? Yoda. You got to go with the best, right? You got to go with the best. Okay. Late night. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Okay, now it's going to get tough right here. Let's see. Obituary or Deicide?
Oh, Obituary. I don't know why. I have to find.
Now, there's only a difference in changing around one letter here, but Santa or Satan?
So if I say Santa, I don't get music?
No, you do. Yeah, you can pick Santa.
Santa, he gives presents.
You're a family man, of course. If you got to be killed one of these ways, burned alive or impaled? Not a great choice.
Horrible. You're a horrible man.
I know.
Burned.
I've been told that before. Okay, so here's two bands with disgusting names, man. But who gets the pass here? Dying Fetus or Decrepit Birth? Both awful, by the way.
That's awful. The Dying Fetus.
Dying Fetus. Okay, and the last one here is the most important one. Given the fact of who you're talking to here, Which Van Halen era, Roth or Hagar?
Oh my God.
Oh, come on, Rutger. This shouldn't be anything you should have to give a
Roth,
thing
man.
to.
Roth.
I was gonna say you're a rocker, man. Come on. Okay, so I guess if
I was trying to figure out how you would react. No, Roth.
I guess if I got to go back and review and take umbrage or take opposition to any of them, I don't really know where it would be. I'm a PlayStation guy. I like that you said Obituary. Why did you say Obituary over Deicide?
You know why?
Is the satanic stuff just get to be too much after a while?
No, nothing to do with that. The thing is, when I was a teenager and I started getting into metal, there was still the one and only Headbangers Ball, right?
I remember it.
One of the first videos I saw was actually of Pestilence, and one of the I think they were right next to after each other. And the other one was Obituary at that power plant. I forgot which song it was.
Yeah.
But I just heard him.
Yeah. Very guttural.
Never forgot it, man. Yeah.
And I am very curious though, but you'd rather be burned alive than impaled, huh?
Well, it's both horrible, man.
Yeah, you're right. They are pretty, but yeah, they both are pretty bad.
You have several ways of impalement. If it's just right through the head, then it's fine. I'll go for that.
Yeah.
But if it's Flock the Impaler style and it has to see through my own, then I would rather be burnt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the disgusting way to go, wasn't it? Jesus Christ. I don't know why, but your list just ended up being, I swear to God, these are all random. I don't plan these out. They're just suggested to me by people. I just put a list together. I got the idea, somebody emailed me and said, why don't you do some kind of a segment with your guests, like where you put them in a hot seat or you ask them some kind of shit or whatever, just to break up the interview a little bit. So I swear to God, I didn't pick any disgusting ones because you're in Pestilence or anything. They just ended up that way. I randomly just grab a handful of them or whatever. Okay, so let's get back to Pestilence now. I see on your Wikipedia page that the next album to come out is going to be called Portals, and it says to be announced. So when are we going to get new Pestilence music? The last one was in when's the last one? 2021?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Wait. Because I have it here. Yeah, 2021, man. Yep.
Okay, so when do we that's only last year. So I mean, to have it up on the Wikipedia page and say to be announced, a lot of times if it's not close to being out yet, it won't even have it on your list, for a discography. But it's already so obviously the title is already out there. People already know that it's going to be called Portals. So how done is it? Is it in the can and finished?
Well, I actually have several bits of news for you then, because there are going to be two. There are going to be two.
Okay.
Portals is going to be a best of, but all newly played.
Okay.
And the other one's going to be a fresh new album. I think we're at song 8 or something right now.
Okay.
So going really well. But yeah, as I said, with the productivity of Patrick and the rest of the guys, we can keep going. So we need to have a fair bit of space in between albums to make sure they're not like overlapping in style or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, no, they're going to be. I don't know if I have to put a date on it. I don't think Portals will be that long. I think it will be maybe beginning next year or something, or end of this.
Okay.
And the new album won't be a year later. So.
So when you say Portals is going to be a greatest hits, so these are songs that will go back to the Martin Van Drunen era, but will be sung by Patrick. They'll be redone completely, or will Martin's vocals be appearing on here? How far back are we going when you say greatest hits?
Not sure yet, because we still have to make a cut. But no, this will be Patrick's vocals.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna be having some real flashbacks.
Okay.
So yeah, I think.
Okay, so we obviously know. So we obviously know out in the thrash world, the thrash metal world, that and we haven't gotten any in a while. But with there was the big 4 shows, the big 4 that we all know in thrash: Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. not to put you on the spot here, but the big four in death metal, who are they? Who's up on that Mount Rushmore of death metal? You know, who would be the big four in death metal?
I don't know, man.
Too
Seriously.
Tough
Sorry?
question.
I think it's a very tough question because there are many bands like, I mean, Possessed would be somewhere up there.
Yep.
You know, Death is No More, so maybe Death.
Right.
You know, new version is very cool, but you're still missing
Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse, yeah.
Obituary, who we mentioned.
Yeah.
Certainly legendary.
And Deicide's somewhere up there, you know.
Yep.
But there's so many bands, man. There's so many bands.
It's funny that Deicide, we just mentioned them, and they also came up in the in our Furnace segment there. When you look back at the career of some of these bands, where do you think extreme metal lies as far as, and I've asked other people about this before, will it ever have its just due as far as recognition in the metal world, as far as ever seeing any extreme bands in like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for instance? And I'm not putting much merit on what those assholes over there say, because they made a lot of missteps, put a lot of fucked up bands in there before a lot of great bands. So I'm not saying that that's the hallmark of being of recognition, but should there be a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for bands that have been doing it a long time in extreme? Because we're obviously putting hip hop artists into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's been happening. You know what I mean? Does extreme metal and bands that have really, really, you know, advanced, especially bands that have advanced that genre, we talk about, you know, the big ones, Cannibal Corpse, will we ever see them in there, or is there not enough foresight in the music world to ever let those bands in?
I think the latter. But I have an extreme level of I don't give a fuckness about.
I know.
So you know, I maybe it's an unpopular answer, but I hope they don't get this recognition, because it can destroy more than it can bring. I mean, what good would it do? You know, like death metal has always been extreme. It's always been, you know, who cares?
So you like to see it kept on the outer fringes and just let the diehards go out and find it.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, more people can listen to it. You know, that's fine. But I don't Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
you know?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It really is. So when you think of your career right now, do you have your toe dipped in other stuff, other side projects, or are you the kind of guy that gets in a band and puts all of his focus into the band that you're in? I know you mentioned Bleeding Gods you've been in before. Are you working on other stuff in other bands, or is Pestilence the main focus?
Pestilence is the main focus, but I will always have another band called Shinigami. So which means, you know, God of Death in Japanese.
Okay.
And that's that's a band I sort of got together with friends.
Yeah.
And it just sort of escalated. So we toured Japan a couple times with that band. And that's creatively, that's awesome to do. With the friends, they're just friends for life. So yeah, I will always have that. And I would do some more. I will do some more albums, you know, with other bands, but just as a studio thing. So yeah, I think like we have some busy times coming up with Pestilence. You know, more and more tours are happening again. More and more, you know, stuff. We just played Wacken, so the cool stuff is, you know, is starting up. So I guess we're going to be pretty damn busy next year.
There's nothing wrong with being busy, right? That's how you get some change in your pocket. I mean, it is very tough right now, right? I think you would agree that the music business right now, very daunting, right? It seems like everyone's chasing the same nickel, so to speak. It's very difficult to make money. I'm getting a lot of artists on here who are really, really urging people to come and see live music and buy merchandise, because that seems to be a way. So I want to talk about that. You yourself, do you get to go out and see a lot of live music when you're not playing?
Well, that's kind of difficult now because when I'm not playing, I have my kids.
Right,
So
right, right.
I'd love to see many shows. I used to see many shows.
Yeah,
Now everything's picking up, and so probably I will see more shows. But we
yeah,
have I have a holiday coming up,
yeah.
and then after that we have a tour. I think just a week and a half with Pestilence. Then we have more, uh, separate gigs. Then we have the recordings. Then we have, so it's busy. The last show I saw, I think, was Iron Maiden or Rammstein, one of the two.
Okay.
So I get to see some cool shows. I get to see some cool shows. When I was at Wacken, I
Yeah.
saw Loudness, for instance, which is amazing. I love.
Amazing Japanese band. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Legendary.
Legendary, and
Yep.
I'm endorsed with ESP, and I was already very honored to be in the same roster as he was, and
Yep.
now I got to see him live, which is awesome. But I wish I could see more shows but that's
Sure.
the case even when I see 5 in a week. So I love live music, and yes, absolutely go to shows if you want to
Yeah.
support the artists. Buy merch
Yeah.
that's very important for the artists.
Very. Yeah.
That's basically where for artists that's where the income is, I think, for most of them anyway.
Yeah. Now, I live in upstate New York here in the States. Will we see Pestilence do any touring here in the States? I know the European market, and I even hear American-based bands even say it too. The European market, much different than over here in the States as far as, and even me being, an American myself, I watch the footage on YouTube. I see how rabid and passionate the European fans are. Do you get that? Well, first of all, you being out on those stages at those big festivals, you yourself see the difference?
I haven't toured the States yet, man. So
Okay.
like if I say that I did, but in all honesty, we had I think the whole tour was sold out. We were supposed to tour with Possessed.
Okay.
Just before, and it got canceled because of COVID. So I know there is a lot of planning already for the States. So we are absolutely going to return to the States. Absolutely. When is just a question.
Okay.
I'm actually going there on a holiday on Friday, so I will be.
Where are you going?
I'll be starting in San Francisco, and then doing the regular tour, so all the way to Grand Canyon and
Nice.
whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And our drummer is actually going to meet me. He's Dutch, but he's also American, so he has 2 passports, and his girlfriend and him are going to meet us in Vegas. So it's great.
Is this your first visit to the States at all?
No.
You've been to the States.
I've been to the States before, just once though. But no, for me it's still and then LA and then all the way back up. Yeah. But for me this is a real thing. We were supposed to play on that race circuit in Mexico City at the Corona Hellfest.
Yep.
We were supposed to be on the same stage as Deep Purple, which is my father was a huge fan, and my first real gig I saw was Deep Purple.
Yeah.
So that all got canceled when Trump said, border closed because of Corona. Yeah. So that is, still looking forward to touring the States.
Okay, so obviously you could take one look at the blonde hair, the David Lee Roth pedigree, the fact that I look very glam and sleazy, the fact that my name is Rex with 3 X's, which is very 80s glam, no doubt about it or whatever. So when I'm starting a new glam sleaze band, if I were to want to tap the services of Rutger, what would you say? No thanks? Too glam for you?
If you want to have a guest solo or something on there, hit me up. I love 80s sleaze. I'm serious.
Do you really?
I do. I don't know why. Maybe it's my biggest confession, but no, I
pulled it out of you.
Sleaze, like the thing I like the most is which is not, it's not the same category, but I love Iron Maiden, which is one of my biggest musical love.
Yeah.
And early Metallica,
Yeah.
you know, of course, because that got me into to metal. But yeah, man, like the high pitched voices still have a place in my heart. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys do come to the States, you think I should be getting the guest bedroom ready for you guys? You need a place to crash?
Well, I'll turn it right back onto you, right? I'll put you on the guest list whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there with bells on, man. Absolutely. So
bring your wife. Bring your wife. Tell her.
I'll make her come to this one. I'll make her come to this one. Yeah. I'll tell her that it's awfully hard to tell her that Pestilence plays anything that she's gonna like. So I may have to change the band name because it's gonna be hard to tell her that like Pestilence plays like you know, her style of music. I can't say a band like Pestilence sounds like Maroon 5. I don't think that's gonna fly very well.
Oh, no, not with us either, Maroon 5. But call it Little Pest, and then I'll
call it Little Pest, and I won't show her any of the old album covers, because one of the ones that really scared me was Consuming Impulse. I don't know, I still look back on that album cover, and it takes me right back to being like a 16-year-old kid. Something about those red ants crawling on that guy's face is terrifying to me.
And it's kind of funny because there is no talk about ants on the album. It's about spiders. So
yeah. I guess red ants shouldn't be really perceived as all that scary, but it looks like one's getting ready to go into his mouth, and you can see the terror in his eyes. You know, I mean, he just looks scared.
Yeah, but did you see the original cover of Consuming Impulse?
No,
because it originally had another cover, and it was turned down by the label, and it was re-released. I have it here somewhere. Wait.
Why was it turned down, though? Why was it turned down? Was it too extreme? Is that what it was?
I don't know why, man, but it's here.
Record labels have no sense of humor, do they?
That's
why was that turned down?
I don't know. I said maybe they thought it was ugly or whatever.
Now, for our audience that can't make out what that is, can you explain what that is? Because there's a little bit of a glare, or what you see there.
It's just a bunch of entangled bodies eating each other.
Nothing wrong with that, right? Entangled bodies eating each other. Yeah. You know what? Is it funny to you when you look back that, and that's awesome. That's an awesome piece of history. So that is Consuming Impulse right there, huh?
Yep.
That's pretty amazing. Is that a difficult version for people to get their hands on, or is that version out there?
Well, this is actually the remastered version, I think.
Okay.
And I think we have these on shirts as well. But this is an old label, Hammerheart, put these on.
Is it funny when you look at something like that and think that was rejected back in 1989, 1990, in regards to everything that flies nowadays?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
It's pretty crazy, right? I mean, it really is, you know?
I guess it was way before Mayhem put out their
Yeah, I mean, because it seems like anything goes nowadays. Yeah, I don't think anybody would bat an eyelash. I was talking with Perry Strickland, the drummer from Violence, and way back when Atlantic Records, I believe it was, pulled the plug on a song that they did called Torture Tactics. I think it had something to do with the lyrics or something like that. And by today's standards, I think it would be pretty tame. Like, not that it isn't, not that it isn't difficult to listen to, but it's supposed to be, shocking and have that kind of shock value to it. I mean, it's extreme metal for a reason, right? I mean, just like you said before, it should be anything goes, right? I mean,
yeah, man, stuff shouldn't be censored, right?
I don't think so. No.
Well, some brutal metal albums went a bit too far when they used real body shots of labs or whatever, which
is
not my cup of tea. But I mean, it should be whatever. It's metal is there to shock, right? Metal is not there for the faint of heart.
It should be. Yeah, you're exactly right. Not for the faint of heart. That's the problem with my wife. Too faint of a heart. She's I can't get her to buy into it, Rutger. I even told her the other day, it's funny because I was talking to you the other day while I was at, unfortunately, as I had told you the other day,
Oh, yeah.
I had to push back our time because she unfortunately had an uncle on her side of the family that passed away. And I believe I was texting you while I was at the calling hours. And I got out into the car and I said, hey, Rutger sends his condolences. Rutger from Pestilence sends his condolences. She's like, who the hell is that? I'm like, hey, he happens to be in a legendary death metal band. Show a little respect here. No, seriously, though, like we really did appreciate it. I'm glad you were so understanding about it. We haven't had the best of 2022 so far. I mean, she's had some health problems, very minor. I've had the problems I explained with my eye. She's had a couple of deaths in the family here, you know, not to make the end of the interview all this fucking somber or whatever. But I mean, you know, it's always nice when people are understanding. And obviously you having kids in the family, you understand sometimes real life just takes over, you know?
Yeah, no, man. Unfortunately, I've had way too much experience on the subject. So,
it sucks.
Yeah, man, and whatever. The only thing that matters, you know, is your family. So
family at the end of the day, absolutely. So where can people find you now? Yeah, go ahead.
This is a great example, right, of our band and how Patrick is, right?
Yep.
We had all this trouble to get a visa to play in Russia, right? And we finally had everything set, and we were going to play Russia for 2 shows, and my daughter was committed to the hospital.
Okay.
She had appendicitis. Do you call it in English? Like her intestine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And she got a real bad infection afterwards, and she had to be in the hospital for a week and a half, and she was 4 at the time, so that was something else. You know, I had to call Patrick saying, you know, listen, my daughter's in the hospital. He said, go.
Yeah.
Band doesn't matter whatsoever. We're gonna play without you or something. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. Doesn't matter. Apple family first.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And that's
nice. And I think those kind of stories are important for people who do judge and have their misconceptions of the extreme metal genre. Because you would look at Patrick, obviously, like I said earlier in the interview, in his images and stuff like that, and think, God, here's this big, tough, scary guy. He can't be a nice guy, right? I mean, you know. I think that's the perception sometimes, like when you look at the, you know, when you look at the people, and I find from having done so many interviews that you know that just the opposite is true. And going to metal shows, you just see such a sense of camaraderie, and you know, I think it's one of the best communities.
Yeah, man. The more extreme the metal, the nicer the crowd is.
Yeah.
But you know, don't get me wrong. Patrick is a tough dude.
Yeah.
Patrick is not a pussy. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah. So where can,
but you know, family first. That's great. You know.
So where can people find you now? Like, what are the things that you're involved in so people know? Obviously, Pestilence. You know, you guys are out there on all the music platforms, all the streaming platforms. You know, I'm sure all the people that are fans of this type of music that will watch this interview know who Pestilence is. What else are you involved in that you can tell people to go check out?
Music wise, there's a band I always do guest solos for. I'm on every album, which is Blood for Me, which is an awesome band name, I think.
Okay, yes, it is.
And they've been going for a while, and I love that band, so go check them out.
Okay.
Many befriended bands, but for me, I don't know, man. Just follow my Instagram or something. And
Shinigami is another band you're in.
Oh yeah, Shinigami is a great band. Yeah, man.
And do you still have any involvement with Bleeding Gods or no?
Yeah, we all have different bands going on right now. So that's basically an album, but we just hit some roadblocks, and maybe it'll happen, maybe not. We'll see. Our first our album on major label was on Nuclear Blast, which is I think I have it here as well. Dodecatlon, it's called.
Okay.
Wait, I have it somewhere here. It's a mayhem in my.
It's probably right between your Celine Dion albums. No, it's not.
That's C, man. That's C. This is B. I can tell you that. I can tell you I don't have any Celine Dion there, man.
Oh no. Jesus, you've got more. You know what? I think you've got a wider selection there than my local music store has. It's more turned into a toy store and a novelty shop. You can't find CDs very much anymore.
Yeah, man, I know, and I'm still an old school dude. I want to have the CD in my hand, you know.
I like a product too. I do. I've talked about this with other musicians. It's very sad to think that that we may see the death of the physical product now in light of the fact that our phones seem to be our stereos now. It's a different world nowadays.
It is, but I just like to have something physical.
Yeah.
And where you can actually
look at shit. Yeah, read shit, look at shit, read liner notes, read lyrics, look at pictures. I'm with you, buddy. I'm the same way.
If we have these are the stacks for example for Bleeding Gods, right? So these are the guitar stacks.
Yeah.
And that's my logo.
Yeah.
But if you have stuff like that and you can take away can take home like a physical product and look at the same sort of imagery and take it home.
It's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's review what we've learned. He'd rather be burned than impaled. He hates Celine Dion, and music can't be fucking heavy enough, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it in a nutshell, man. Hey, listen, man, I really appreciate you doing this, man. It's been a blast talking to you, man. You're, just super cool. We missed each other a couple times. You were so gracious to keep rescheduling until we were able to lock down a time or whatever. But we'll stay in touch. Hopefully, we can do this again, brother.
Of course, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to contact me and waiting for my sorry ass not to be at work.
My pleasure. Yeah, absolutely, man. I had a blast talking to you, man, and we'll keep in touch and do it again, man. And I appreciate you being so generous with your time. Thank you so much.
Please, give my regards to your wife, and
I will do that.
And my condolences, and all the best with your eyes. By the way,
thank you. I appreciate it, man. So I want you to go start researching how to fix fucking retinas, okay? You're the guy to do that. You're the smart guy doing all the medical research over there, so.
Wow.
Thanks, Rutger. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks
all right,
so much.
buddy. Take it easy, buddy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. There you have it, man. Another legend. I know what you're thinking, Rex. You say this every single time, but that is Rutger Van Noordenburg. And he is the guitar player for legendary, that's right, legendary, there's the word again, legendary death metal band Pestilence. If you don't know Pestilence, you should be burned alive just like he would like to be. Or maybe we'll impale you. I don't know. But either way, you deserve to fucking be done away with. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, man. We appreciate him being so generous with his time. That is Rutger Van Noordenburg. Go check him out. He's, like I said, the guitar player for Pestilence. Super cool dude, man. Phenomenal band. And hope you guys really dug that interview, man. Till I see you guys again the next time on POD SCUM. Coming from me and the old man, remember to take it easy and keep it sleazy.